Now the topic is what is the use of p-type semiconductor and n-type semiconductor. Let us say, suppose we have taken a bar of pure semiconducting material and suppose the edges of this material is doped with the different type of impurity atoms. Suppose I have at this end, suppose I have injected a trivalent impurity, and at the other end, suppose a pentavalent impurity is added. What is happening? This is the pure semiconductor. When trivalent impurity one by one atom is doped inside the pure semiconductor material, this material will start converting itself into different type. Like trivalent impurity, as we know that how p-type materials are formed. When trivalent impurity is added there will be a creation of hole inside after per atom impurity. So in this way, this junction, this side, it will start converting itself into p-type material. And here at the same time, if pentavalent impurity is added, this other end, it will start converting into the n-type material. And suppose this process is continued, what is happening? This will start converting into p-type material like this, and this will start converting into n-type material. So this addition of all the pentavalent impurity and addition of all the trivalent impurity, it is converting these regions into p-type and n-type. At some point, what is happening? This pentavalent impurity start converting from right to left, and this trivalent impurity is converting to p-type from left to right. There will be one point where both the n-type material and p-type material will meet each other. So this edge is called as the junction. So what is junction? Where the p-type material and n-type material meets together, they will call as junction. Now at the junction, what is happening? See, if trivalent impurity is there, holes will be there. And the n-type material, there will be electrons. Now at the junction, what is happening? At the edge, the electrons just beside the junction, they will fall on the holes. At the same time, holes from the p side, they will fall on the electron. So there, when this type of falling is there, falling is nothing but electrons are taking the space of holes and holes are taking the place of electrons. So that recombination is done, and if that recombination is there, there will be formation of opposite type of ions there. So in the n-type material, if holes are falling or recombining with the electron, they forms positive ions. At the same time, if electrons are falling on the holes, they can recombine, and their recombination forms the negative ions. So here, just beside the edge or just beside the junction, there is a formation of opposite ions. Positive ions towards the n-type and negative ions towards the p-type. Now after this, there is a formation of this type of wall is there. So this wall will not allow the other remaining electrons to fall on the remaining holes here. And in the similar way, these holes cannot pass through the wall and recombine with the remaining electrons. So this region, it is called as wall. And this region, where the positive and negative ions are formed, it's called as depletion layer. So there is a formation of depletion layer when p-type and n-type material join together. Now, if ions are there, different ions are there, they will form the potential, and this potential, it is creating a barrier between p-type and n-type, because further recombination is stopped here. So this region where the positive and negative and positive ions are there, this region is called as potential perihelion. So in this way, there is a junction formation, and that junction with positive and negative ions is called as depletion layer, and this depletion layer has a potential, and that is why it is called as potential barrier. Now, if the material used here is suppose silicon, then this depletion barrier, it will be 0.7 volt for silicon, and if it is a germanium, then it will be 0.3 volt, right? So this is how this device is formed. Now we can connect the connector like this towards this side and towards this side, and we can connect this device in any electronic circuit. So this is how P and N, they forms a junction. That is why this device is called as PN junction. So PN junction, this side is positive side and this side is negative side. This PN junction, it is indicated by a symbol, and this symbol is like this. There is a triangle and a bar is shown here. This bar indicates that this material is, this side is N type, and the triangles, this side is called as P type. In electronic configuration, we actually shows this electrode with the name anode and cathode. So here, this will be the cathode. So N type is a cathode and P type is considered as anode. So anode A and cathode K. So this is the symbol for PN junction diode. In commercial language, this PN junction diode, it is called as the diode. It is not called as the junction. But for our study, we will consider this as a PN junction. PN junction is nothing but a diode. So this is how PN junction is formed. In many books, it has been written that PN junction is formed by using P-type material and N-type material, and they are joined together. This is not actually the process. The process is this one: pure semiconductor material is taken, and either sides of this pure semiconductor is doped with the trivalent impurity and pentavalent impurity, and this process is simultaneous. So in this way, this side will convert it into N-type material, and this side will convert it into P-type material. So after conversion, these two regions goes on wider, and at one point they will meet together, and where they meet, that meeting point is called as junction. And when they meet, there is a formation of ions, opposite ions towards P side and negative N side also, and this ion wall, it is called as the depletion layer. And if difference of ions are there, they will have some potential, and that potential is creating barrier between P type and N type. So that is why it is called as potential barrier. And this potential barrier in case of silicon is 0.7 volt, and in case of germanium it is 0.3 volt. So this is how PN junction diode is formed. Now see the diagram. This is the PN junction diode. This is its P type. This is its N type. Suppose I have connected this device in an electronic circuit which is consisting of a battery. Suppose battery's terminal positive, it is connected to P type, and negative terminal, it is suppose connected to N type. And suppose this battery is of variable type, that means suppose we can increase the voltage from 0 gradually. So same circuit can be written on like this. So this is the semiconductor diode. This is its P type, P side. This is its N side. Positive terminal of the battery is connected to P type material, and negative terminal of the battery is connected to N type. Now in this case, what is happening? Suppose we have a variable battery like this, and suppose the voltage is increased from 0 volt. Let us see what is happening. Suppose I have increased the voltage from 0. Here in the P side, there are number of holes. They are now considered as majority charge carriers, because holes are majority charge carriers. So when doping process is there, at that time trivalent impurity is added here and some holes are created here, But at the process of doping, there is a formation of some electrons, free electrons is also there. So in p-type material, we can say that holes are majority charge carrier, whereas some minority charge carrier, that is electrons, are still present there. Suppose we have 10 impurity atom in this, so 10 holes will be created, but at the same time one free electrons is also created. So here 10 holes are there, but still one electron is there and which is free. So holes are now a majority charge carrier in this p-type and electrons are minority charge carrier. In the same way, in the process of doping to form the n-type material, there is a formation of minority charge carrier to n-side also. Here in n-side, electrons are majority charge carrier, while the holes are created, their number of holes are less, so that is why they are minority charge carrier. So let us see, when battery is connected here, what is happening? The holes from the battery or positive charges from the battery, they will start flowing towards the p side. Here already we have accumulated the quantity, a large quantity of holes, and we are increasing the positive charges like here. Holes are considered as positive charge carriers. So here already we have positive charge carriers and we are increasing their number. So what will happen? The current direction is like this. So they are flowing and entering to p side. They will start flowing towards the junction. At the same time, electrons from the negative terminal of the battery, they will also enter to the n side. So what is happening here? Here at the junction, there will be some space where these holes, if their numbers are increased, one of the hole will start flowing towards the junction and it will manage to escape from the wall and it will enter to the n side. In the same way, electrons from n side, they will also find some space to enter towards p side. Actually, what is happening? We are actually increasing the number of holes. So when holes are increased, these holes will recombine with this negative ions, and when holes is recombined with the negative ions, this ion will vanish from here. Okay. So at the same time, electron here towards the positive ions, they will also recombine and it will vanish in here. So there is now a space to flow these holes towards n side and the electrons towards the p side. So this will manage a space to flow. So in this way, some electrons and some holes, they are flowing and they are conducting throughout the device. So in the graph, if you plot it, suppose this is the voltage applied and suppose the current through the device. Now here, slowly one electron and one hole is recombined and the depletion layer is now vanished for this particular space. So here some current will be increased. Okay. After this, suppose another increase is there in the voltage source. So here another pair of ion, it will vanish. So current will start increasing because the resistance or the barrier, it is removed through slowly. Okay. After this, suppose another voltage is increased, another pair of ions will vanish, and at some point, whole depletion here is getting vanished here. So holes from the p side and electrons from the n side, they can freely move throughout the device. And here we can say that the device is now conducting. So when this happens, that voltage is called as breakover voltage. And in case of silicon, the voltage of barrier is 0.7 volt. So in other words, what we can say, if you increase the voltage from 0 to 0.7 volt, there is a slight increase in the current because slowly one by one some pairs are vanishing, and at 0.7 volt whole pairs are vanished here because of the recombination. So these ions are removed at 0.7 volt. So that is why this voltage is called as forward breakover voltage for silicon metal. What if after 0.7 volt, after reaching 0.7 volt, if further increasing their voltage, what if now this diode has no depletion layer, no barrier, so holes and electron can pass throughout the device very freely. So after 0.7 volt, if voltage is increased further beyond, there is a rapid increase in the current through the device. So this is how this diode will start conducting, where the voltage is more than 0.7 volt. So up to 0.7 volt, there is a less increase in the current because of the some pair of whole electrons and ions and holes and ions will be there, and that will vanishes slowly, and that depends on the applied voltage. So if the voltage is increased from 0 to 0.7 volt, there is a very less current increase in the graph you can see here. But at 0.7 volt, all the depletion layer is now vanished, and if you voltage increase beyond this, there will be a rapid increase in the current. So in this way, in this diagram, you can see when positive terminal of the battery is connected to P type and negative terminal of the battery is connected to N type, and if the voltage is increased and that voltage is increased beyond 0.7 volt, this device start flowing the current. So this device is now right now we can say it is closed now. So it will act as a closed switch. So this type of configuration, how positive terminal to P side and negative terminal of the N side, is called this type of connection. It is called as biasing in one language, and biasing is nothing but the connection format. And this connection right now is called as forward biasing. Okay, so we can say that this device or this PN junction diode, it is now forward biased, and when it is forward biased, there is a conduction of current through the device. So this is called as forward biasing. Here you can also see positive to P type, N type, negative to N type, and this is also forward biasing. So when forward biasing is there, the device will conduct and it will act as a closed switch. So this is called as forward biasing. So this is one type of biasing condition for the PN junction diode. Now the next will be the reverse bias. Let us see how reverse bias is there. So this is called as forward biasing. Now in the next topic, let us see what is meant by reverse biasing. Listen here in the diagram. Here P type is connected now to negative terminal of the battery and N type is connected to positive terminal of the battery. In the same way, anode is connected to positive terminal, cathode is connected to negative terminal. Such type of biasing is called as reverse biasing. Now let us see what happened to the junction in reverse bias. Here number of holes are there as a majority charge carrier. Here in the inside there are electrons as a majority charge carrier. In the hole side, that is in the positive side, we are increasing the electrons, and here in the negative or N side, we are increasing the number of holes. Now what is happening here? If you further increase the electrons, if batteries turn on and if the voltage is increased, these electrons will flow towards the P side and these holes will flow towards the N side. Here, if electrons and holes are recombined, what is happening? There is the formation of ions. So at the wall, there are already negative ions in the P side and positive ions in the N side. If you consider the P side, these electrons are flowing towards the P side, and P has already majority charge carrier as holes, and these electrons will recombine with the holes in the P side. So another pair of ions is formed here at a certain voltage. Suppose we have in this 1 volt, for example. In the right hand side, that is in the N side, there is also formation of ions here at a particular voltage. So this depletion layer is now increasing. If further voltage is increased, what is happening? These electrons will combine with the holes. They will form another layer of negative ions here. If again the voltage is increased, these holes will be combined with the electrons and form negative ions here. and these electrons will be combined with the holes from the battery and forms the positive ions here. So in this way, increasing the voltage, applied voltage, it is creating this depletion layer of wider. Okay, so when no voltage was there, depletion layer, the region was this much. But after application of reverse voltage, what is happening? The number of ions or pair of ions, it is going increasing. So this depletion layer is getting wider and wider. So in the depletion layer, there is a formation of ions, and if ions are there, they form a resistance. So in this case, if reverse voltage is applied, junction resistance is increasing. So there is no flow of current throughout the diode, and if voltage is further increased, the resistance is increasing. So these ions, they will resist the current. So in this way, junction resistance is actually increasing. So here, if depletion layer is vanished, there will be a formation of there will be a current conduction throughout the device. But if depletion layer is present, there is no conduction. But if reverse voltage is applied, what is happening? The depletion layer is getting wider. That means it is increasing its resistance. So here there will be a friction, and this diode will resist the current conduction. So in this way, if reverse voltage is applied, junction resistance will increase and there will be no current conduction. So in this way, this device is said to be in open condition. So no current, the switch, if you consider the switch is considered to be open if no current is flowing through it. So in this type of configuration, when negative terminal of battery is connected to P side and positive terminal of the battery is connected to N side, this biasing is called as reverse biasing. So when diode is reverse biased, there will be no conduction inside the device. So it will act as an open switch. But further, if you plot a graph between the reverse bias characteristics, negative voltage on the x-axis, negative because of applied voltage is in reverse direction, and negative current because the current direction is in reverse. So if you start gradually increasing the reverse voltage, the current conduction will be not there. But as we consider the holes are majority charged in P side and electrons are majority charged in N side, still there are some minority charge carriers which are present in the P side and as well as in N side, due to which when junction resistance increases at the same time, some minority charge carriers are thermally generated, and due to which there will be some current which will flow throughout the device, and that current due to the minority charge carrier is called as the leakage current. So when reverse bias voltage is gradually increased from 0 volt, there will be a little current which will flow due to the minority charge carriers, and this current is called as leakage current. And due to which there will be a slight current conduction during the reverse bias. So if resistance is increasing like this and if the voltage is increased like this, up to certain level, this process will go on. But if the physical area is fulfilled by the formation of ions, what happened after this? As you know that a depletion layer cannot accommodate more than the physical area of the device. So if current is increasing, that means when voltage is increased, the current will also increase, and the resistance is also increasing. So when resistance increases, there is opposition to the current, there is opposition to the charges inside the device, and there will be friction. So there will be a formation of heat, and the temperature of this junction also goes on increasing. So up to some limit, this junction resistance will oppose the flow of current. But after reaching one point, there will be a conduction in the reverse bias mode, and this conduction after reaching the whole physical area will happen, and this conduction at a certain voltage is called as the breakdown. Or we can say that the maximum voltage which is applied to this, suppose This is happening at 10 volt. What is happening? All the physical area is occupied by formation of ions, and after that, suppose breakdown is there and current will start conducting there. So this voltage is called a breakdown voltage. So maximum possible voltage in case of reverse biasing is permissible is only 10 volt. So after 10 volt there will be a breakdown. So this diode can handle a maximum voltage of 9 volt. So breakdown voltage is larger, and if you consider a lower voltage, that will be suppose 9 volt. So this 9 volt, up to this 9 volt, this can bear the reverse current. So this will remain off up to 9 volt, and this 9 volt now it's called as peak inverse voltage. Okay, so maximum current opposition will occur up to 9 volt, and this 9 volt is called as peak inverse voltage. Peak means maximum, inverse means reverse direction, and voltage means voltage. So every device will have this value, that is peak inverse voltage. So 9 volt diode is there, then maximum permissible voltage in reverse bias will be 9 volt. If further voltage is given, what is happening? There will be breakdown, and when breakdown is happening, the device will be damaged due to high temperature. So in this way, when reverse bias is there, diode do not conduct, and that will conduct and capable of handling reverse voltage up to peak inverse voltage rating. If further voltage is increased, there will be a breakdown. So in this way, in when diode is to be connected in any electronic circuit, that can be connected in two ways. One is called as forward bias, and another is called as reverse bias. During forward bias, the diode will conduct, and during reverse bias, it will do not conduct. So this is how this diode is working in the electronic circuit.